Hello, dear friends. It's Carly Wharton, and welcome back to Owning Authenticity. In this video, I want to talk about scattered energy and if it's a bad thing. I'm going to give you a spoiler alert right now. I have scattered energy, and I don't think it's a bad thing. So stick around if you want to hear that story. Scattered energy for me is much more of a blessing than a curse. Although I would say it falls somewhat in both categories. There's a reason that scattered energy by nature has a negative connotation. There's a lot of talk out there about focus, and you really need to focus on one thing at a time and master that thing and then move on into the next thing. And even in the course of a day, that focusing your energy is more productive and more efficient than bouncing from 8 million things. So all of that, there's a lot out there telling you what you should do and what you shouldn't do. And I'm here to just pronounce once and for all that I have scattered energy. It isn't a matter of what I'm choosing or what I'm not choosing, kind of like being gay. Like, you're not choosing to be gay or not. It's something you're born with. So I have scattered energy. I identify as having scattered type energy. I don't know if that's a real thing. It's something that resonates as true for me, and it's helpful in understanding the complicated framework of who I am as an individual, which I'm sure this is one of the side effects of having scattered energy, is that when you get interrupted, your thoughts are so loosely in there that it's probably gone and never coming back. So that is one of the downsides of having scattered energy, is that you have a very loose relationship with thought. There's a lot of space in between thought. And this, for me, is where the blessing comes from, because in my loose hold on my thoughts and in this big, vast open space between the thoughts is where my creative energy comes through. So ideas popping into my head out of nowhere, just in between all the random thoughts that I have. A lot of times, what's going on inside my brain is a free association where I can jump from it's hilariously fast how fast I can free associate. I can't even finish the sentence out loud because in my brain I'm already over here, like 8 steps away. I was gonna say monkeys, which makes me think of Jane Goodall, which makes me think of the movie Fun with Dick and Jane, which makes me think of Jim Carrey, which makes me think of the inspirational speech that he gave at like a graduation ceremony. Like one of the best YouTube videos I've ever seen. Speaking of YouTube, I've been watching a lot of health documentaries lately, and that reminds me, I quit sugar like 3 weeks ago. So that's what I'm talking about, like going from monkeys to sugar in less than 30 seconds. So it's like that. It's like scattered energy. And what that looks like in a practical sense, meaning like day to day, how do I spend my time? Well, I have like 8 different businesses, 8 different projects, like sometimes more than that, going on at once. And there might be a span of months even that I don't touch one of them, but it's still over there. I still have it. And eventually I go back. And that long stretch of time where I might not interact with a project usually it's creatively productive, like taking a step back from that project and letting it go back to my subconscious and marinate there, and letting more cooperative components out into the world come into alignment. All of those things, usually if I go a couple months without touching one of my projects, it's because it's not time to work on it yet. And when it's not time to work on that one, that's when I'm playing with any one of these other ones that are going on. So I mean, I do lots of different kinds of work. And I would say, like, jack of a lot of trades, master of none kind of thing. And the thing is, I am approaching mastery probably more slowly, obviously, than if I was focusing on just one thing, but I'm approaching mastery on like 10 subjects at once. And whether that's right or wrong, that's how I'm wired. So I personally have tried to work with it more like this is what is. So that awful saying, it is what it is. I have scattered energy. So how do I turn this into a positive thing? How do I see this as a blessing instead of a curse? Because it is what it is. I can't figure out yet, at least, how to change it. So how can I make peace with it? How can I even appreciate it and find some joy in it? And at this point, I love my scattered energy. I love that in the span of a couple of weeks, I might touch 8 different business concepts, like different. I have a book that I'm writing, and I have these events that I host, and I have these videos that I make, and I have these couple podcasts, and I have these couple consulting projects, and I have this business that I go to. And I like, there are so many different pieces and facets. And I laugh, but about 6 months ago, I got the feedback that you can't be an astrologer and sell groceries and do you can't be all these things. You got to pick one. And the person was just very like judgy and pointy and sourpuss face is how I picture them. Obviously, it's just an anonymous internet commenter. But it really provoked me because I was mad that they would say that. And my instant response was, yes, I can. And like in that, yes, I can, came this like newfound appreciation for, yes, I can be a video maker and a grocer and an astrologer and a life coach and an author and a grocery consultant it's just on and on and on. I can be all those things. That is the blessing side of scattered energy, is that I actually enjoy switching gears. There's something restorative in the change, in the switch up of like something new, something to learn. I do best in a learning mode. So that constant rotation of what I'm working on and the new territory that I'm facing in each project, like that's what I thrive on. So for me, it seems like my life is best when I structure it this way, when I allow myself to be scattered, and that's really hard for some other people to take. And so, I mean, like, personally, I live alone and my work is mostly solitary, mostly work that I've created for myself, like proposals that I had an idea and wrote a proposal to a grant and got paid grant money to do my idea. So I looked into the world and said, here's what I can do, and found somebody to pay me for it so that I could sit inside my house and work at this scattered way. So it is possible. It is possible to be successful in the world, add value, and follow your unique energy pattern, whatever that might look like. One big kind of keynote that I will leave on is I love my current approach the most because of my ability to work at my own energetic pace, meaning rest is able to kind of drive the bus. Like, either I feel like resting or I'm inspired. And when I'm inspired, typically I'm inspired towards a certain project. Like I'm in the shower and something pops into my head, like, oh my gosh, I have to make a video about that. Or, oh, that's a follow-up that I want to do on my grocery project, or that's an idea for the book that I'm writing. And so when the inspiration hits, I'm already 8 steps ahead with here's what I'm going to work on right now. And so when inspiration hits, I spend as long as that inspiration lasts to milk every last bit of it on out into paper, onto something that it'll stay there then once I'm done working on it. And once the inspiration is gone, it's back into resting mode. And it's kind of the same as like, loose association with my thoughts and all of these, like all this big wide open space in between the thoughts for creativity to flow. My work to rest ratio is kind of the same. It's like a couple hours of work, a few days of rest, a couple hours of work, a couple days of rest. It's like that. There are times where I'm maybe a little more productive and a little less productive, but for the most part, I mean, I work a couple hours at a time and that's it. And I work on whatever I'm inspired to work on in that moment. And so like deadlines don't really work, timelines don't really work. It's 100% inspiration based. Um, and yeah, this is how I've chosen to structure my life because I have scattered energy. And so far, I mean, I've been doing this for about a year. It's working. It's working for me. Is it going to work for everybody? No, not everybody has scattered energy. Some people have very focused energy, and that's cool. And I dig whatever you got going on. But if you've been told that you have scattered energy and you've made your way to this video, I hope that it helps you feel a little bit better about the blessing that scattered energy can be. If you choose to look at it like that, and if you choose to kind of give into it a little bit. So if you've liked this content, I invite you to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already so that you're notified of my daily videos that I post. Until next time, dear friends, you take good care of yourselves, and so will I.